Forward. Wonderful. And we'll get started standing to make your way to your space. And adjust my camera a little bit also so that you can see my arms better. And you might have, sometimes when we'll practice, sometimes I'll have a chair, sometimes we'll come to a seat, sometimes I will put a blanket under my feet if I want a little more softness under the bottoms of my feet. And but primarily our Qigong practice is a standing practice. And that doesn't mean that all qigong is standing. We can find and just move around a little as you kind of come into your space. But we can find seated meditation. We can do our acupressure seated, our tapotment. We can lie down and have a guided meditation, focusing on the five elements or some attributes as well. Because Qigong is about cultivating our life energy. That's what it's about, working with it. And rock from the ball of your foot to your heel, and then from side to side, just sort of coming into your space, into your practice space, and noticing how things feel. And then let your shoulders come up to your ears and roll down a few times. And as you do, see if you can bend a little into your knees, if you can kind of soften through your hips, just letting yourself kind of undulate like a sea creature, which can be nice. And then sink your feet into the earth. Let your arms rest at your sides, and the crown of your head extends towards the heavens. And take a deep breath and let it go. And let your palms face away from you. And bring down the heavens, reaching up as you inhale and exhaling down the front of your body. And in my last class, I was sharing with the friends in that class that I had done a qigong for a um, a group that is a Spanish immersion school, and it was some teachers. It was their like a teacher development day, and the instructors, several of them, don't speak any English at all. So I had to come up with a Spanish kind of a Spanish presentation. And this movement, I decided to translate it as invite peace. And so as you kind of bring your hands up, envision that you're inviting peace, because we can change the names of things. We can move around in different ways. We can utilize different props and things to make us comfortable. Anything to shift our perception, to create sort of a newness, or to encourage us to in our cultivation of inner peace. So inviting peace, and maybe one more time. And then bring one hand to your heart and the other to your belly, and feel your heartbeat and smile. Take a deep breath in and ah, let it go. We're going to find some tapping and patting. We're going to start with the hands, warming up your hands. And feel free to shift around however you would like as you do. You're going to massage the fingers. So, kind of rubbing your fingers. You can interlace your fingers. Just kind of treat it as though you're applying some hand cream to your hands. And also, if you've ever had reflexology is very interesting. Um, and it can be done on the feet, on the hands, and on the ears. Those are specific places where you'll find it done. But the hands are microcosms of the body. So there are points on each hand in reflexology that are associated with all areas of the body. So maybe you start to like kind of rub your cuticle here and you're giving yourself some type of a massage somewhere on your body that, and I couldn't tell you because I'm not a reflexologist, but it's just interesting to think about the things that we do to try to achieve balance without even realizing that that's what we're doing, but we really are. So you're just giving your hands this nice massage and you're loosening up the connective tissue, which is good to do. You're warming your hands, especially as we get into colder weather. We become more contracted, and so giving your hands this nice warm up is good to do. Let's move the wrists around a little, moving your wrists and your fingers. You can go one direction and the other. Now let's interlace the fingers and press them away from you. And then if it feels okay, reach up as high as you go. It's fine. And then let them go. And interlace your fingers again with the other fingers on top the other way, the way that feels funny, and then press them away and lift them up as high as they want to go and let them go. Very nice. Then we'll pat an arm. Give yourself a pat. And coming up your arm to your shoulder. Oh, maybe kind of on your shoulder. That can feel really good. And turn your arm coming down the inside of your arm. And we'll do that a couple more times. So as you do, you're encouraging the flow of blood and lymph. You're kind of stimulating that flow of chi through the channels in the arm. In five element theory, the meridians for the metal element and the fire element come through the hands up and down the arms to the body. We'll go to the other side. Whenever you're ready, you can just switch sides, giving yourself nice pats up the arm, your shoulder. And as you do, see if you can find a nice exhale. Maybe you just sigh on your exhale. And give yourself smiles and sighs and just enjoy your experience. We're going to pat up and down the side of the body. So lifting your arm, you can kind of pat up and down from your armpit to your hip flexor. Those large lymph nodes in your armpits and the abdomen, hip flexor area, giving them some encouragement. And then we'll go to the other side, giving yourself some pats. And you don't have to lift your arm very high, just high enough that you can get in there. It might feel nice to lift it high. If it does, that's cool. I just love patting and tapping. I always feel so much better. If I'm feeling um kind of frazzled, I feel frazzled sometimes. Let your arms come down, shake out your hands. And it makes some big circles with the arm. So young girl rose through clouds. We're gonna go both directions. So you can decide which direction you want to go. You can have your elbows bent a little, have your hands kind of flow as well, opening up the chest, getting a nice stretch through your upper arms, which is so good for us. But when I feel kind of frazzled, or sometimes you'll just feel kind of like I'll feel lazy, like I can't do anything. And so patting, if I stand up and I give myself lots of good pats, usually all of a sudden I'll feel a little more inspired. Go the other direction. And that's my inspirational story for the day. Give yourself some pats and you'll feel more inspired, maybe. But really, ultimately, what's our job? It's to love ourselves, to be compassionate. Love yourself just as you are, you know, and be compassionate to your humanness, to your experience. And let the arms come down. Shake out your arms. And we'll take our tap dancey fingers and we're going to tap dance all around. I'm going to remove my glasses because I want to tap dance on my face too. So you just take your tappy fingers, let your eyes soften, and let them dance around. Maybe they go over your ears. You have some tender spots. The meridians, several different meridians, but the gallbladder meridian kind of winding around over your ears. That's our decision making ability. Maybe you tap the space between your eyebrows, this calm, the spirit point. Such a nice name. I can tap the outside edge of the eyebrows. You tap under your eyes, the sides of your nose, your nostrils. You can tap there. You can tap under your nose. And you can tap down your jawline to your chin. Oh, let's give the ears a little massage. So I'm going to put my glasses back on. I'm only going to do one ear because I have my headphone in the other, but you just give your ear a nice massage. Doesn't matter what you do, you rub the ear. Again, in reflexology, it's like you're giving your whole body a massage. The ear's sort of shaped like a fetus, and so you're over here, and maybe you're stimulating one part of the body, and just be intuitive. Something that I really love about qigong, especially, and it's the same thing that I love about like more therapeutic yoga and Reiki, and you know, uh, we don't want to do any harm. And these kinds of modalities, they're not going to hurt us. You're not going to rub the wrong spot on your ear. You're not going to tap the wrong place on your face. When you let the energy sort of flow, it's flowing for your highest good and greatest healing. It just is. And so it can be used in conjunction with medications and other Western therapies. And I'll let your hands kind of stroke down your neck a nice rub, just like you might rub your little pet, oh, like a little chin rub. My cat makes the best face when you scratch her chin. She's like, oh yeah. And of course, there's these large lymph nodes in your throat as well. So you're encouraging the flow of lymph, kind of giving yourself a little massage there. And I'll tap under the collarbones, tapping under your collarbones. And in five element theory, the lungs draw in the chi from the world around us. So they draw in air and mix it with all of our other nutrients, kind of drawing it down into the bloodstream, and it flows through our body and provides nutrition. And so the lungs draw the chi down, but the lungs are also what's considered a tender organ, which means that they're very much affected by kind of just different things. Are very sensitive, and the metal element sensitivity, kind of our ability to be honesty. And so when we feel real tired at the end of the day, sometimes that's our lungs, and we just need to sleep. We need to rest a little bit more and breathe. Bringing awareness to our breath can encourage our lungs to release stuff they might be holding on to as well, especially grief and disappointment. And come to the heart, giving your heart a little tap dance over your sternum. You can come up and down your sternum, and we'll find a healing sound for the heart, which is ha. So you take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, a nice long ha. And you can make it sound like a song. Ha, or it could be ha. Play with the tone and smile because your heart is the seat of joy. Ha. And bring your tap dancing fingers to your lower ribs and give them a tap dance. And you're tap dancing over your liver on the left, kindness, generosity. On the right, your stomach and that earth element, the feeling of being supported and nourished, nurtured. Well, let's rub the belly. Just rub the belly one direction and then the other. So it doesn't matter which way you start, giving yourself some nice abdominal massage. Again, a moving lymph, a moving, encouraging just the flow of energy. You'll go the other direction, encouraging the flow of energy. You find a sigh. Ha. You can feel a sigh, sigh it out. Give a little pummeling now to the low abdomen, to the pelvis. Gentle, gentle pummel, pummel. And pummel your hips. And if it feels okay, come to your sacrum, and maybe with the that tiger's mouth, the hand where the first finger and thumb meet. You can come up as far as you go towards the kidneys, our creativity, clarity, knowing that we belong in the world, a connection with life. Come back down and let's tap down and up the legs as far as you want to go. Maybe you just come down to your knees, or maybe you extend down to your toes. Doesn't matter. You can tap and you can pat and you can do it a few times, coming up and coming down. Now everything is just got a nice flow. Come back to center and let's bounce around a little bit and kind of shake the leaves. So envision you're a tree that's just shaking your leaves, shaking off all of the dead branches, all of the leaves that have served their purpose, and we'll make a sound as you shake your leaves, pruning, creating space for that new growth. Let your feet sink into the earth, and we'll let the arms swing a little from side to side, like you're have an elephant's trunk. Mm, I love thinking about the elephant and with the arms swinging like this, and animals are so much fun to think about too. And a lot of the names of different movements associated with animals, with parts of nature, things that we experience. When I come back to center, and then I'll let your feet sink into the earth. Let the crown of your head extend towards the heavens. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Let's invite peace again. Bring down the heavens, reaching up and drawing down. Lifting, gathering, drawing in everything that's helpful and useful, and continuing to release and let go of anything you don't need. We'll do that again in a moment, but let's turn our palms to face up now and we'll part the clouds coming up, turning your hands and parting the clouds. You can envision tap roots coming down from the bottom of each foot into the earth. And they reach down into the supportive earth and they find some cool, clear water. And that water comes up through the bottoms of your feet into your toes, up through your ankles, to your lower leg, your knees, kind of clearing and cleansing that cool, clear water, nourishing you, coming up through your upper legs and your hips, through your pelvis, cooling and cleansing, rinsing away all of the stuff that you've sort of jarred loose so far in your practice. It makes its way into your abdomen and your chest, through your shoulders, to your upper arms. And cool, clear water coming through your elbows and your lower arm, to your wrist, nourishing your wrists and hands, your fingers. Cool, clear water coming from the base of your spine up to the crown of your head. And oh, it just rinses and nourishes and cleanses and clears. And then let your arms come down. Shake out your arms, shake out your legs, root your feet. Let your hands come to your dantian. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Let's gather chi. Bring one arm down and then the other. Drawing in everything that is helpful and useful to fortify you, to encourage your a sense of safety and security. And next, let's cloud walk. Shift your weight from one foot to the other, lifting your heel, coming back to center, and lifting the other heel. Something that our practice does is it encourages balancing the body and the mind. Also balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And so we'll play a little bit with balance, some balancing exercises as we go along. Let your feet sink into the earth and bring your hands to your dantian. Now, bring your feet so that they're about hip width distance. And envision that your spine is an extension of your pelvis, of your dantian, and you're going to shift your weight to one leg, and then you'll come back through center to the other leg. So you're just kind of establishing your center of gravity. And now this is something that's so important. It's very practical. And as we find balancing movements on each side of the body, we also balance the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And then we find more of that sense of calm and peace. it encourages us balancing exercises. And I think one of the reasons that a lot of us get out of balance kind of physically and we stumble and things is because we're up here, we're top heavy. We've got all of this stuff going on outside of our bodies. And so when we can zip it back down into the dantian, then we can start to really build that sense of the present moment awareness. I'm going to come back to center. Let one hand press out to the side, the other comes kind of to the center line of your body, and shift your weight to that leg. Touch out with your toe. Now bring your foot back, come back through center, shift to the other side, and touch out with your toe. We're going to continue this a few times, just nice and slow. And as you move, see if you don't have to let your arms extend very high at all. In fact, we want to work with economy of effort as well. And so sometimes less is more. And if we can keep our body weight sort of a little closer inward, then we'll have an easier time balancing. We're going to play with an extension of this movement where we do extend out a little further. And I want you to notice how different it feels. You can reach your fingertips out and touch out with a toe and come back through center, reach out with your fingertips, touch out with your toe. And this can feel really nice too. But you can see how much more effort it takes to come back to center. It's a nice stretch, but also you're trying to find that balance across each leg. So you're shifting your weight to one leg and finding that balance, shifting your weight to the other leg, finding that balance, and now come back to center. And we'll do that one again with one hand out, one hand down, shift your weight, touch with your toe, coming back. See how much less effort that takes. Just as an illustration. Doesn't mean that it's not fun to expand and extend, but it's also beneficial to practice being closer inward. Now we'll come back to center. I'm going to have you press your hands behind you, opening up your collarbones, shift your weight to one leg, and touch out with your heel. Keeping your spine upright, reach your arms out in front and touch back with your toe. And again, heel, and toe, see? Heel. And so it's practice, and it doesn't matter. Um, we're never perfect. We're perfect just as we are, and we're never perfect all at the same time. Come back to center, shift your weight to the other side, press your hands behind, heel, arms come up, toe comes behind, heel, toe, heel, and toe. Then come back to center. Bring your hands to your dantian. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Now let your hands come into loose fists at the sides of your hips. Shift your weight to one side, touch with the other toe, and punch with the opposite fist. Coming back to center, shift the weight, touch and punch. Back to center, shift, touch and punch. Then come back to center. Notice if your hands are kind of squeezing tight. See if they can relax a little. Let your shoulders stack over your hips. And I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see the next one. Shift your weight to one side. We're going to step forward, heel, toe, bending into the knee and punch, but keep your spine upright. Coming back to center. Shift your weight, heel, toe, and punch. And as you continue with this, again, your spine is an extension of your pelvis. You have a nice tall spine because if you lean forward, it's going to take a lot more effort to come back. And so just play with that for a moment. Exaggerate, stepping forward and leaning. And oh man, it takes a lot more to come back. And now do that without leaning forward at all, shifting your weight. And so just being aware of how your body moves in space, bringing your mind into your body so that it can function more optimally, so that you feel that sense of connection that allows you to do what you need to do in the world. Come back to center and let your hands come down to your dantian, and we'll do the ankle exercise next. So shifting your weight to one leg, let your other heel come out, heel and toe, and heel and toe. So just really balancing on this leg, feeling the movement of heel and toe, and then come back to center, press that foot down, shift to the other side, heel and toe, heel and toe, heel and toe, and come back to center, shift to the other side, big toe and little toe. Getting this kind of stretch through your inner and outer leg as well. And coming back to center, shift to the other side, big toe and little toe. And come back to center. Notice your feet rooting into the earth. Take a big inhale and let it go. Let one hand face up at your dantian, the other arm comes up, and then at the crown of your head, it presses down, nourishing the earth. Switch, so the other hand is facing up, reaching up, and nourishing the earth, fortifying that sense of balance, that kind of rootedness through the bottoms of the feet. And then we're a good conduit for energy to flow. One of the reasons why movements are an important practice in many ancient cultures is because they kind of encourage, they provide the structure. When we move, when we work with movements, when we bring our awareness into our bodies, we encourage the strengthening of our kind of energetic infrastructure so that energy can flow a little more easily through the body so that it doesn't get as trapped in the different systems, so that we can have more of a sense of equanimity, just allowing yourself to breathe as you next time your hand comes down, let's cloud walk, another balancing exercise, shifting your weight from one side to the other, lift your heel and lower. And come back to center. Bring your hands to your dantian. Make your way into bow stance. So, facing direction, kind of shift your weight from the back leg to the front leg. Again, keep your spine nice and long, nice and tall, shoulders stack over your hips. Kind of push through grass. Bring your hands in front of your chest, pushing forward, and then arms come out to the sides and back in. Notice if your arms are extending far, if you're leaning forward. And if you are, see if you can do less, just as we did during those balancing exercises. Notice if your breath wants to come along with you, keeping a soft bend in your elbows. Pushing through grass is very gentle. It's like the breeze making its way through a field of tall grasses. Next time you press forward, let your hands come down to your dantian. Make your way back to center and gather chi, fortifying yourself. Let your hands rest on your dantian and make your way to the other side for bow stance. Shifting your weight forward and back. Bring your hands in front of your chest, pressing forward and drawing inward, pushing through grass, and balancing the yin and yang aspects of ourselves through that sense of balance, equanimity. The pushing is yang in nature, and the drawing back is very yin in nature. And as you're moving, you're balancing the yin and the yang. You're finding a way to flow with a little more economy of effort, a little less force. next time you press forward, let your hands come down to your dantian. Make your way back to center. Take a deep inhale and let it go. Let's swing the arms, kind of finding twists, very gentle twists. They can originate in the bottoms of the feet and make their way upward just as far as it feels comfortable. Maybe your arms hit your body if that feels nice. Swinging your arms. Maybe you look over each shoulder. Coming back to center, bring your shoulders up to your ears, roll them down. Let your hands touch your dantian, coming back into the center of your body. Gather chi. We're going to part the clouds again. Palms face up, coming up and expanding. Cool, clear water circulating through your body, helping to cleanse and encouraging the release of some of the stuff, some of the tension that you've been able to let go of. And it's easily processed and released, rinsed away back into the earth where she eagerly accepts what you have to offer. Let your hands come back to your dantian. Nourish the earth. The one hand faces up, the other comes around and draws down. Alternating, lifting and lowering. Let your hands return down and we'll cloud walk. Shift your weight from side to side, lifting, lowering. And back to center. Let your palms face each other at your heart. Kind of envision that you're holding a ball between the palms of your hands. Let your fingers soften. We're going to open and close. And so we've kind of been working with the sense of balancing and of releasing, washing away, bringing our attention and awareness into the dantian. And now offering yourself this kindness and beauty from your heart to your heart, acknowledging that beauty within your heart. Your hands come together in a prayer posture. And then we're going to form a flower, a lotus flower, sort of letting your hands sort of open and then bring them back together in that lotus flower in the palms together prayer posture. And then open them up, kind of letting the palms face up and bring them back together. Do that very gentle movement if you opening up your hands, bringing them back. One more time, opening up your hands and bringing them back together. And now let the palms of your hands just rest against each other. Let your jaw relax. Breathing, noticing the gentle pressure of your hands as they press into each other. And this prayer posture that we find in many different kind of ancient wisdom traditions is a way to center the mind. It's a way to bring the mind and the thoughts inward and focus on the space between the palms of your hand. And take a deep breath in and let it go. And let's invite peace. Bring down the heavens, reaching up and drawing down about 3 times. Let one hand rest on your belly, the other hand rest over your heart, and offer yourself a sense of gratitude for your practice, for spending time balancing and encouraging equanimity, encouraging this self love and compassion, economy of effort, offering yourself kindness and compassion, peace and love. Thank you so much for your practice today, friends. It's just an honor to get to be with you and practice with you. And I hope you have a very peaceful day. And let me hit my stop record button. There it is. Ha.